Welcome to the Get Back. Music work talk in Central Texas. Fridays at 1 p.m. Brought to you by the Austin Federation of Musicians and with the Unemployment Compensation Advisory Committee. The Unemployment Compensation Advisory Committee are members of the Austin Federation of Musicians, Local 433 of the American Federation of Musicians, aka the Musicians Union. Some of us work as contractor 1099 workers, and others work as employee W-2 workers in various aspects of the music industry.
The goal of this session is to share our experiences, including trials and tribulations related to the Texas Workforce Commission, or TWC, with other musicians in the state of Texas to aid in navigating the TWC application process. We are not experts in unemployment assistance. We are musicians.
The information contained herein does not constitute either legal advice or an official pronouncement or a position of the Austin Federation of Musicians, but rather is only the personal opinions of the panelists. The panelists do not give legal advice or make official rulings on agency matters, should not be cited as authorities in any matter before the agency or when dealing with agency staff about a case, and must minimize their involvement with administrative processes. They also do not give legal advice on any other matter, and any information they should give should not be used as a basis for taking any employment-related action. Before taking any employment action that could adversely affect an employee, or before using any sample form or policy you may obtain from this group, you should consult a licensed, private sector, employment law attorney of your choice. All right, welcome back. This is the Get Back for Friday the 13th of August, 2021. I'm Aaron. It's just me here today, so it'll be kind of a short session today, but lots of things to talk about as usual. Yeah, we always kind of start with the links down there at the bottom in the show description. Lots of good links about, of course, unemployment, which is the usual or the original topic of this show, but also a really important link, Who Represents Me, which is wrm.capital.texas.gov, and that's becoming increasingly important as well in all of our news and everything else. So yeah, let's see, we always kind of start with beverages as well. I'm doing coffee as usual. So yeah, our other regulars are either taking care of themselves as far as health stuff, or they're actually working, which is we really love to hear that. Of course, this year we want everybody to be as careful as they can working. We're hearing of unfortunately musicians getting sick on the bandstand because we are in close proximity sometimes to each other, sometimes to audience members, sometimes in not very well ventilated places. So we want everybody to be careful and work outside if you can. That's a really good thing we can do, especially in our great state of Texas. We have weather that facilitates that. It's hot right now, but it's hotter in other places in the country. Some places further north are getting quite a heat wave this summer. So yeah, take advantage while you can, for sure. Okay, well let's see. I thought about maybe sharing this the dashboard this week. That's the screen, but I wanted to, let's see, I wanted to share that a little better somehow. Well, that's not bad. Yeah, and this is of course the yeah, maybe I can make that bigger. This is the Austin Travis County dashboard here, as I'm fumbling it around, but just to have this as a record of what's happening. We've still got not enough hospital beds, not enough ventilators for what's happening right now with the Delta variant spike. A little bit encouraging is you see the spike. It seems to be going down a little bit here, and this is of course yeah, right. This is different curves. You can see the new cases reported per day. Here it seemed to be going down a little bit. Now I hope we're seeing a trend. But that's all just hope right now, really. We don't have enough. There's not enough data really yet to know if we're done with this crazy spike again. So, yeah. So the best thing is to just be careful out there. We've had several venues closed over the last couple weeks. Again, shut down. I know of at least one that has opened back up. So that's good, I suppose. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so it's still a very uncertain time though, and want everybody to be as careful as they can, for sure. All right. Well, let's see in the news. Several things. Schools are opening up. Several school districts in Texas now have decided to implement mask mandates in violation of our governor's orders here. So that's interesting. You would think that would have to lead to some change, more school districts pile onto that. I don't know. We'll have to see. What happens. God bless the parents out there. They're having to make very difficult decisions right now, as regard their children and their schooling. Yeah, so that's really hard as well. Some news in the paper. There's a little more vaccine availability with walk-up vaccine at the local grocery stores. Yeah, it's still very easy to get that vaccine if you don't have it yet. That's really the only thing that's gonna help us get back to performance and having audiences, be comfortable coming to our performances. So we still want to encourage that. Just kind of having a positive attitude about vaccines and about masks for performers is the way to go. There's no other way. We're really going to get back to business as usual without those things. And the longer we wait to support those things, the longer it will take to get back to our previous levels of business and activity. So it's really a business concern for us. So it's a pretty easy decision to make, really. Yeah. So, all right. What else here? Let's see. That's really about it. We're gonna have our usual kind of series that we've been doing on the PRO Act, the Protecting the Right to Organize Act. We'll start that up again next week. With I think it'll be the final installment of that. We've been kind of working our way through different points in more detail about that particular piece of legislation. There hasn't been any progress on that per se, but there was progress this week in the national legislature about about the infrastructure plan and the budget plan going beyond that. So that's all good news. The U.S. Senate got their piece of it passed, but now it has to go back. Of course, it doesn't match what the House sent them, so now the House has to work on it again, and it has to get passed there. So so that's a little bit disappointing because the House was already on recess, so now they have to come back early, which still won't happen for several more days. I think at least maybe another week. But there was progress at least. But that's all holding back, of course, the For the People Act and the Protecting the Right to Organize Act, which are two big concerns for everyone, for every working person in the U.S. The PRO Act, corrects a lot of missteps in our national policy about people being able to organize for better wages and working conditions over the last 40 or 50 years. Those rights have been eroded So that's what we'll be talking about with that. But the For the People Act, of course, just has to do with the right to vote. And the Voting Rights Act of 1964 has been eroded just in the last, 8 years. And that's really concerning. There's some really bad legislation at the state level, including here in our state of Texas, that are going to erode that even further and make it harder for people to vote, and that is not good for anyone in the U.S. So, so we're hoping those things will be, on the national agenda again in the next session once the infrastructure stuff gets moving. Some of that may even be part of the budget reconciliation measures that get the rest of the infrastructure stuff through. So we'll see. We'll keep our eyes on that. And of course, at the state level coming in, we've got a big contingency of our state house in exile. They're talking about arresting some of them now. It's kind of ridiculous. But that's all about the state legislation about voting rights. There was one of the Democrat senators was just filibustering yesterday, Senator Alvarado, in opposition to the erosion of voting rights that some of this legislation is going to do. So that's interesting. We definitely support her. And then of course at the local level, we're having our city government is wanting to implement mask mandates in several places, and they're not able to because of the state governor's orders. So that's becoming an interesting struggle. There's a lot of things that our music commission is recommending action on. That's great, as far as supporting musicians and venues, and some of that's coming to fruition. But of course, as far as the labor movement is concerned, with us in the union, we want to emphasize, making money, the business end of it, and keeping in the forefront of our minds that music is work, and it generates revenue in and of itself, and it's not a charity per se. So we can earn. We just got to be able to get out and do the work that we do, and we encourage everybody to do that as much as you can, but be safe about it, and don't get sick. You don't want to get this thing. Same thing's kind of we've been saying all along. So. All right. Well, if you're in the music business, let me check our YouTube feed, see if there's any comments here. No comments right now. So, but yeah, like I said, if you're in the music business, don't give up. We can get through this together by sharing information in solidarity with our union. That's what it's for. You can write good contracts that protect your work, even in the case of disease spikes and everything else. All that stuff. You can protect yourself against that the best by using a union contract, and you have the backing of the union behind you, and everything else. If you're in a group that has a collective bargaining agreement, you can, through your union, you can negotiate, safety protocols and plans and things like that will keep you and your colleagues safe and able to continue to work. And that's what we want. We all want that together. So anyway, stay vigilant, and don't give up. We'll see you next week. Take care.